Good morning, students. I am today starting trigonometry, the other branch of mathematics. While introducing the second PU syllabus, I had mentioned about this particular branch in which we will be having two chapters. Okay, first chapter is about heights and distances, and the second chapter, different types of angles, we will be discussing. That is about the formula, the rule, how to derive them, all of them we will be discussing. But before learning about this one, actually we have to revise the first PU trigonometry portion, because all those formulae which you have learnt in first PUC, they are important to learn about the portions of the second PUC. So let me start the revision in this session. Only the revision of the first PUC trigonometry I am doing now. First we had started with the basic definition of the trigonometric ratios. Okay. Now in this one we always define the trigonometric ratios with respect to a right angle triangle. Now consider a right angled triangle. Now let me mark the acute angle, any one of the acute angles, as theta. For this angle theta, you observe that this is the opposite side and this is the adjacent side and this is the hypotenuse. Now with reference to this angle theta, I am going to define the 6 trigonometric ratios. The first one being sin theta, S-I-N-E, sin theta. Now in short we write it as sin theta, that is we take only the first 3 alphabets. So this is sin theta. How do you define this one? It is opposite over the hypotenuse. It is opposite over the hypotenuse. Don't remember as AB by AC like that, because whatever may be the triangle we are considering, the basic definition is opposite over the hypotenuse. The second one is cosine. Cosine theta, in short we write it as cos theta. Cos theta means it is adjacent over the hypotenuse. Now let me consider the third ratio. It is tangent. Tangent of theta, in short we write it as tan theta. Here it is opposite over the adjacent side. Opposite over the adjacent side. Now next, these are the 3 ratios. Next we will be considering the other one, which is called as cosecant theta. In this one we take only, usually we are taken 3 alphabets, the first one. Here we are taking 5 alphabets. First 5 letters. Because if we take only cos, already has been defined. Now here it is hypotenuse over the opposite side. Next is secant theta. Secant theta, take only the first 3 letters. Secant theta, it is hypotenuse over the adjacent side. And lastly cotangent theta. Cotangent theta, in short it is cot theta. Cot theta means, how do you define this one? It is adjacent over the opposite side. So these are called as the 6 basic trigonometric ratios. So sin theta opposite by hypotenuse, cos theta adjacent by hypotenuse, tan theta opposite over the adjacent side, cosecant theta hypotenuse over the opposite side, secant theta hypotenuse over the adjacent side, cot theta is adjacent over the opposite side. So these are the 6 basic trigonometric ratios. Now let us observe all these one. By observing all these now, we get one more information. That information being, look at the definitions of sin theta as well as cosecant theta. Sin theta is opposite by hypotenuse. Cosecant is hypotenuse by opposite side. That is, we observe that they are the reciprocal of each other. So how do you write that one? It is sin theta could be written as 1 by cosecant theta, or you can write it as cosecant theta could be written as 1 by sin theta. We call them as reciprocal ratios. Suppose you take the product of them, that is sin theta into cosecant theta. What do you get here? The product is 1. So wherever you come across a product like this, but they should be of the same degree, sin theta into cosecant theta, the value would be equal to 1. Similarly, we observe that cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse, secant theta is hypotenuse by adjacent. Even they are also called another pair of reciprocal ratios. So I can write it as cos theta as 1 by secant theta, which implies that if you take the product cos theta into secant theta, that would be equal to 1. Similarly, tan theta and cot theta, they are also reciprocal ratios whose product if you take would be equal to 1. So, these are the three pairs of reciprocal ratios. One is sin theta and cosecant theta, first pair. Second one cos theta and secant theta. Third one is tan theta and cot theta. So, these are called as the three pairs of reciprocal ratios. And apart from this one, we get one more information. Let me see what is that one. Look at this one, tan theta. Now, tan theta, how we have defined here? We have defined it as opposite over the adjacent side. And what is the definition of sin theta? Sin theta is opposite over the hypotenuse, correct? And what is cos theta? It is adjacent over the hypotenuse. Suppose you take the ratio of these two, that is, you divide sin theta by cos theta. What happens? This hypotenuse gets cancelled, opposite over adjacent side, which is nothing but tan theta. That means that you get one more information, that tan theta can be expressed as sin theta by cos theta. These are all the basic information we have to remember always. So tan theta could be written as, can also be expressed as sin theta by cos theta. Similarly, how do you write cot theta? Because it is a reciprocal, you can write cos theta by sin theta. So by the basic definition of the trigonometric ratios, we get to these two information. One is, we have seen that there are three pairs of reciprocal ratios, and tan theta and cot theta can also be expressed in terms of sin theta as well as cos theta. Now these are the basic information. Okay, you will be using them rather often. Now let us consider. Here you observe that I have just taken theta in general. I have not given any particular value for this angle theta. Suppose I give a particular value, that is, first we will be considering some standard values. These have been explained in detail in first PUC. I am just giving you the information. I am just revising, that's all. Now here, let us take some angles in between 0 degrees and 90 degrees, that is in the first quadrant. Now 0 degree and 30 degree, 45 degrees and 60 degrees and finally 90. We call these as the standard angles. Now here sin theta cos theta in general I had defined. Now what is the value of sin 0? What's the value of sin 30? What's the value of sin 45 or cos 60 or tan 90, like that? We have to find out the values. So these are very important, because however big an angle theta may be, by using different formula, different rules, we can convert them to have any one of these angles. That is, in the when you convert that one, no, any one of these angles would appear in the picture. Therefore, you have to know the standard values. These are called as the standard values. You have to know the values of the trigonometric ratios of these angles, which we call them as the standard angles. Now, always we represent them in the form of a table. Now, let us consider the ratios: sin, cos and tan. Only these three I am writing, because as you know that the other three are the reciprocal. So if you know the value of sin 0, you will be knowing the value of cosecant 0. Now let me consider only these values: 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and also 90 degrees. Now here, of course, even they can be derived considering a triangle, right angle triangle, giving certain values for angle theta, we can find out. Now here, directly I am writing the value. Sin 0 is 0. Sin 30 is 1 by 2. Sin 45, 1 by root of 2. And sin 60, root 3 by 2. Finally, sin of 90 degrees equal to 1. Next, cos of 0 has got the value 1 and cos 30 root 3 by 2, cos 45 1 by root of 2 and cos 60 1 by 2 and cos 90 is 0 and tan 0 is 0, tan 30 1 by root 3 and tan 45 1, tan 60 root 3 and actually here we use the word not defined because as you know that tan theta is sin theta by cos theta. So tan 90 would be 1 divided by 0. Any number divided by 0, it is not defined because division by 0 is not defined at all. So we get here 1 by 0. Strictly speaking, we have to say that not defined. But as you know that whenever we get 0 in the denominator, we denote it as infinity because we consider that as a very huge quantity. We denote it is not a number, it's only a notation. Whenever we get 0 in the denominator, we denote it as infinity, otherwise it is not defined. Now if you want to get the values of the other three ratios of the same angles, here cosecant 0, it is 1 by 0 in that case, isn't it? 1 by 0 means again not defined. And cosecant 30, 1 by 2, the reciprocal means it is 2. And cosecant 45, root of 2. Cosecant 60, 2 by root 3. And cosecant 90 would be again equal to 1. Come to the reciprocal of cos. Cos has got the reciprocal secant theta. So secant 0, it is 1 by 1. Secant 30, the reciprocal means 2 by root 3. Secant 45, root of 2. Secant 60, 2. And the secant 90, again it becomes 1 by 0. We say not defined. And next one, the cot is the reciprocal of tan. So it is cot 0, it is means 1 by 0, not defined. Cot 30, root of 3. Cot 45, 1 again, 1 by 1 is 1. And cot 60, 1 by root 3. And cot 90, it would become 0 there. Okay. So these are the, so if you know the values of them, then automatically if you want to get the values of the reciprocal ratios, you have to remember which is the reciprocal of which ratio and you can get the value. Now this is about the values, the angles that we consider in the first quadrant, which we call them as the standard values. Now always we cannot have only the values lying between 0 and 90, isn't it? The angle can be an obtuse angle, it can be reflex angle, it can be of any value, it can be very huge angle, it may be 1,999 degrees or it may be minus of some angles. Therefore, we have to consider some rules, we have to learn some rule with the help of which we can get the value of any trigonometric ratio of any angle, however big or however small that angle may be. Now that is known as allied angles. We call them as allied angles. What do you mean by an allied angle here? Let me consider an angle theta, some general angle. Now for this angle, suppose I write 90 plus theta or 90 minus theta or 180 plus theta, 180 minus theta, 270 plus theta, 270 minus theta and 360 plus or minus theta, etc. All these angles, we call them as the allied angles of the angle theta. You observe 90, 180, 270, 360, we call them as quadrantal angles. That is, here it is 0 degree here. Here to here it is 90. Here to here it is 180 and here 270. Again we come here, it would become 360. 360 means it is as good as saying 0 degrees because after completion of one rotation we come to the particular position, the starting position. So all of them now we call them as the allied angle of the angle theta. Okay, this is the definition allied angle. That is, whenever an angle is expressed in this particular form, we call them as the allied angle. Our next problem is how to find the value. Suppose I take an angle, say 120 degrees. I want to find the value of sine of 120 degree or tan of 120 degree or cos of 150 degree, something. It has crossed 90 degrees. So there has to be some rule to find the value of this angle, of a particular ratio of this particular angle. For that now, there are three rules. The rules are, if the angle, first rule, the rule 1 is, suppose the angle is expressed as 90 plus or minus theta or 270 plus or minus theta, any one of this form. That is, it can be either 90 plus or minus theta or 270 plus or minus theta. Then the rule is, the function will be changed over to cofunction. Let me see what you mean by cofunction. For example, I'll take a particular example. Take 120 degrees. Now, suppose I want to find the value of sine of 120 degrees. See, sine 90 up to 90, you know the values. Sine 120 degrees I am giving now. Now, look at this one. 120, I can express it as 90 plus 30, isn't it? Whenever an angle is expressed, you have to use the only quadrantal angles, 90, 180, 270, 360, like that. You cannot write it as 100 plus 20 or 110 plus 10. You cannot write, you have to use this one only. So, sine of 120 degree, you can write it as 90, that is sine of 90 plus 30. Now, to get the value of this one, I come to this rule. Function will be changed over to cofunction. Now, again, as I have told just now, there are three pairs of reciprocal ratios. There are three pairs of cofunctions also. What are cofunctions? Sine and cos. Sine and cos. Because sine, if you add CO to here, it becomes cosine. So we call them as cofunction. Similarly, secant and cosecant. They are the other pair of the cofunctions, and the tan and cot, they are the third pair of the cofunctions. Of course, tan and cot are reciprocal ratios as well as cofunctions. So don't get confused. Reciprocal ratios are different and cofunctions are different here. So function would be changed over to cofunction. For sine, what is a cofunction? Cosine. So I have to write here cos here. Now omit this number. That is a quadrantal angle. Take only this value. It would be equal to 30. And you know 30 value just now given you. Cos 30 has got the value root of 3 by 2. So this is how we have to calculate. Express the angle in terms of any one of the quadrantal angles depending upon the position, depending upon the angle that has been given. Now let me consider another one. Cos of 300 degrees. Cos of 300 degrees. How do you write this one? See here, it is more than 270. So let me write it as cos of 270 plus 30. Cos of 270 plus 30. Now here 270 plus 30 means cos has to be, for sine, cosine is a cofunction. For cosine, sine is a cofunction. Cos is there, so let me write it as sine and omit this angle, write only the value 30, whose value is 1 by 2. So this is how we have to calculate the values. That is using 90 and 270. If the angle is expressed using 90 and 270, then the function would be changed over to cofunction. This is the first rule. Now let me come to the second rule. That is, in the second rule, suppose the angle is expressed as 180 plus or minus theta or 360 plus or minus theta, the other way of expressing. In that case, now there is no change in the function. That is, the function remains the same. No change in the function. If sine is there, we write sine. If cos is there, we write cos, like that. Now, I'll take the same example. Sine of 120 degrees. Just now I considered this one. I had written earlier 90 plus 30. Using the first rule, I got the value cos of 30, whose value is root 3 by 2. Now, sine 120, I am using this rule. How do you write this one? You can write it as 180 minus 60. Okay, see here it may be minus or plus, you don't consider, you have to take only the second number. So 180 minus 60, that would be equal to 120. Now you observe here I am using 180, therefore there is no change in the function, it would be sine only. Don't write minus 60, it is sine 60, and this is again root 3 by 2. So the same value we had got in the previous case also. That means that whichever rule you follow, whether the rule 1 or rule 2, if you remember the rule, in the first rule where the angle is expressed as 90 plus or minus something and 270 plus or minus something, function will be changed over to co-function. You have to be careful about that one. In the second rule, we will be using 180, 360, there is no change in the function, that remains the same. So that is why these standard values are important. Now these two rules, rule 1 and rule 2, give us only the value of the trigonometric function. But we are interested to know the sign, SIGN, the sign, whether it is positive or negative, we have to know that one. For that, there is another rule. We call it as, see, some write it as ACTS rule, some write it as ACTS, both are correct, no? That is, why we write like this is, let me consider this quadrangle, 0, 90 and 180. This all the four quadrants I am considering here. Now here in the first quadrant, all the ratios are positive. In the first quadrants, all the ratios are positive. So we take the first letter, all the ratios. That is why 0 to 90, when I gave the table, I had taken all of them to be positive. In the first quadrant, all the ratios would be positive, because as you know that here, the coordinates x and y of any point would be positive. Now let us come to the second quadrant. In this one, sign is positive means automatically its reciprocal will also be positive. So sin and cosecant, we take the first letter S here. Come to the third one. Here tan and cot are positive. We take the first letter T. The fourth one, cos and secant are positive. We take. So that is why sometimes we write ACTS when you go in the clockwise direction. If you go in the anti-clockwise direction, we take it as ASTC rule. So this rule, that is considering the angles in different quadrants and giving the particular sign here, we will be getting the sign as well as the value. So with the rule 1, rule 2 and rule 3, which gives the, so rule 1 and rule 2, they give you the value. Rule 2, rule 3 gives you the sign of this one. If you want to find the value of any trigonometric ratio of any angle, then you have to consider all the three rules. Now suppose the angle crosses 360 degrees. Suppose the angle is say 1800 degrees. Suppose I want to find sine of 1800 degrees. As you know that after completion of one round, we will be completing or we will be covering 360 degrees. Now, if you go one more round, it would be another 360. If you go one more round, another 360. So, each time you have to go on subtracting 360, 360 like that. So, the easier method of subtraction is, as you know, division. So, what we do is, if the angle crosses 360, first we have to divide that 360 by 1000, whatever may be that one, by 360. How many times you can divide? In this case, you can divide it exactly, isn't it? 5, 0, 5, 6 are 30 and this is, so we get here 0 degrees. So how do you write this angle? This angle can be written as 360 into 5 plus 0 degrees. Same thing I am writing in a different way, that's all. So 360 into 5 plus 0 degree. So neglecting this quadrantal angle, it is as good as writing sine of 0 degrees, and whose value already you know, it is equal to 0. Therefore, if the angle crosses 360 degrees, divide that number by 360 and then write the value of the remaining or the whatever remains there. For that remainder, you have to consider that angle. Then you have to write the exact value of the remainder when you do the division of the number by 360. Now like this, considering the quadrantal angle, using the same rule, rule 1 and rule 2, we can consider the values of sine 0, sine 90, sine 180, sine 270, sine 360, what we call them as a quadrantal angles. So by using these rules only, we can get the values. So let me write that also in the form of a table: 0, 90, 180, 270 and 360 degrees. Now I am taking as usual only the three ratios: sine, cos and tan. Now sine 0, 0, I am not going into the details, I am giving the value directly because these have been done already in the first year PUC. Sine 0, 0, sine 91, sine 180, 0, this is minus 1, this is again equal to 0. Similarly, cos 0 is 1, cos 90 0 and this is minus 1, this is 0 and it is 1. Now tan 0, it is 0, tan 90 not defined, but I told you already we just write it as infinity and here it is 0 because it is on the negative side, we write minus infinity and this is equal to 0. Look at the values here. Look at the values of sine ratio. Just now I told you, even if the angle is of very huge quantity, we can convert so that the angle would be lying in any one of the standard values, isn't it? Now you observe, the least value sine has achieved is minus 1 and the maximum value is plus 1. Similarly, in the case of cosine also, the least value is minus 1, the maximum value is plus 1. So the values of sine theta and cos theta for whatever value of theta will be always lying between minus 1 and plus 1. This is an important information we have to remember always. I can say I can find the value of sine of 22,999 degrees. Even that will be lying between minus 1 and plus 1. Or the angle may be on the negative side. Cos sine of minus of 229 degrees. Even that case also it will be lying between minus 1 and plus 1. So generally I can write for any value of theta, the values of sin theta and cos theta, they always lie between minus 1 and plus 1. Suppose I say sin theta is equal to 2, it's a wrong information. It cannot happen. And cos theta is equal to minus 2. So it cannot go beyond minus 1. The least value it can take is minus 1. The maximum value it can achieve is plus 1. So 1 point something also will not be there, and the negative side also not slightly less than minus 1, it won't be there. Therefore, for any value of theta, sin theta and cos theta will always lie between minus 1 and plus 1. That is an important information. You observe about tan theta. See, if I say tan theta is equal to 2 lakh, it is a correct statement. Tan theta is equal to minus 200, that is also correct, because see the range here, it is minus infinity to plus infinity. Here of course we use the inequality. It is minus infinity less than tan theta less than plus infinity. Don't write equality here. It is strictly lying between minus infinity, it can be of a very huge number, it can be very least number. So tan theta always lies between minus infinity plus infinity. Now these are the information you have to remember, it is very important. Now one more information. Here I had considered the angle only in the positive. I mean all the angles are taken as positive values. Now always, you know the rule, when the angle is measured in the clockwise direction, we take the measurement to be a negative of that number. If you measure in the anti-clockwise, it is plus theta. If you take in the clockwise direction, it is minus theta. Anything in the anti-clockwise direction, positive. Anything in the clockwise direction, in mathematics, we take it as negative. Now here, suppose the angle is minus theta. So what can be the value of sine of minus theta? Sine of minus theta is actually equal to minus sine theta. Similarly, cos of minus theta. Cos of minus theta, there is no change here. It is still a positive number. And tan of minus theta will be again minus of tan theta. Of course, to derive all of them, we take a triangle in the fourth quadrant and find out. But here you can remember these results. Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Suppose you are having minus sine theta in some problem, you can express that as sine of minus theta, and cos of minus theta equal to cos theta. Here we don't have the negative sign. Tan of minus theta is equal to minus tan theta. The same rule is applicable for the respective reciprocal ratio. Now here we are considering only this information, because to learn about the second year PUC trigonometry portion, all these rules, they are very important. You have to remember all of them. Okay. Now in the chapter trigonometry, in the branch trigonometry I mean, there are two chapters. One is about heights and distances. Actually, when the particular branch trigonometry was developed, the main idea was to measure the distance between two ships or the height of a tower, height of a building. That was the main purpose of developing the trigonometry. But now trigonometry has got application not only in mathematics, other branch of mathematics, other branches of science also. The applications are important. So here the first chapter, that's the next session I am considering. The first chapter is about heights and distances. How to find the distance between two ships or two things, or how to find the height of a tall tower or a hill or something. The problems would be of this one. In most of the problems, we will be considering either the tan ratio, tan theta, that is opposite over the adjacent side. Some problems we may have to find out, you may have to use the sine ratio, that is sine theta is opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay. So this is only the revision in this session I am considering. From the next session onwards, I will be starting the next chapter of trigonometry, the first one being the heights and distances. Thank you.